Father who's here because we got so much to present.
So let me just say something quickly about CP time.
First, anyway.
When we say CP time, ancestrally, the time that we were talking about was aligned with the pyramids. Okay, and it was in alignment with the celestial bodies. When the invaders came over, they had to move that time. So we're shifted off of our time. And that's why when we do things, we're off time, because we're not our time, which is cosmic time. So we call it CP time, yeah, we call it CP time, but the Europeans moved us off of our celestial time. So that's what that's about. So don't feel too.
Okay, so you want to talk about, this is Baba,
Well,
I'll call him a lot of names. Dr. Rahman, Baba Rahman.
All of that. All
So you
of
talk
those.
about Life Spring,
Well-
and I can talk about Life Spring too.
Well, I would say briefly, last year at this time, those of you who were here, remember what state I was in.
Yes.
And as you can see, there's been a transformation
Yes.
with the support and standing in my fullness, with the support of my wife and the support of Neferkara, encouraging me, particularly when she lost her mate about a year ago. And I can only say that the state that I was in was the state where my mind. I was in a place in a spiral that was like this. It was not a nice place. And my spirit, my God was saying, oh, I'm going to get your attention. We're going to do this. You're going to have you do this. And it's going to bring you to a state and a place that you've never been, where you're going to have to take a look at this. Look at your heart. Look at life. I've never been ill in my life. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what that felt like. I've been to a place where I get a glimpse of what death looks like. It's not a place. You can peek at it, but it's not a place you want to go unless that's what you choose to do. And some of us choose to do that based on the circumstances that we see in our lives and not having the appropriate support around us. I had the support, the appropriate support every day. Come on, let's go, let's go. And she reached down, they both reached down and helped pull me up in a place where I understand now. This thing called a heart, we got to pay attention. A lot of men, a lot of black men are leaving this planet because of this here. And a lot of black women are following them because of this here. This is your first mind. This is the first emanation. Be true to this, God. Be true to this, God. Right? And the other piece that I found in my journey was that I was always, I'm up here. Never here. I mean, I'm here, but these two. So, in our lives, one of the things I found the integration of mind and body. Because I do yoga. Thought about it, I did it, it was peripheral, but now it's so important that we integrate heaven and earth. So whatever you do, even if it's on a subtle thing that you do that. And as much as we can sink in and link into what's going on celestially, let's do that. If you have the opportunity to rise in the morning when you can, rise in the morning and greet the sun. It's a phenomenal thing that happens when you tap into and you reach and you greet the sun in the morning. You tap into energy. Now here's what goes on a lot, they don't tell you what's going on. In the morning when the sun rises, the earth, in what you call its ionosphere, it's a big energy field that it's in. The sun as it's rising pushes against the atmosphere of the earth, which means that the earth is now, you're closer to space now. Right? You're closer to space. And guess what happens? Every 8 minutes or so, there are these portals that open between the earth and the sun. Anybody ever told you that? That's when you wake up in the morning at sunrise and you greet the sun. You have direct connection with heaven. Literally. When you rise in the morning. And these portals that open, you can communicate. Okay? So when you can rise, that's the rising aspect. When you can set with the sun. Then you can. Some powerful things happen. There are these time portals that open and close if you have access to. There are other cultures that tap into those portals and give them access to things. The other thing that's important to know, there's certain layouts geometrically over the earth that have us on lockdown. Statues are in specific places, buildings over specific places, roads are graded a specific way. in your community, buildings are built to a certain height and dimension to keep you in a particular type of energy lockdown. So to unlock yourself, it's very important that you create an altar, a shrine, whatever you want to call it, whatever denomination it is, you set that up and you create that magnetic field to a ritual. And anything you do more than once is ritual. So get into any ritual that you get into. They got us locked down on rituals every day. And everything that we do, we're engaging in ritual. Everything is ritual. So do that and tap into an intention that allows you to reconnect in a way. And whenever you can quiet your mind, take a minute, even if it's a 5-minute meditation, 10-minute meditation. Just close and go in, 5 to 10 minutes. If you can increase it, you increase it. What you do, you tap into that cosmic stuff that connects us in a divine way. To close on that, this is LifeSpring. We've been here in this home for about 15 plus. We've been through some scenarios where I can share with the family. This house has been in foreclosure twice.
What?
Yeah, I'm telling you, twice. And the reason why I was there is where I was in my heart. A lot of things that we do financially and what we do in our lives, it got nothing to do with your head. It's your heart. I'm like, life is... So I'm like, I got sloppy. No. Okay. So we were there. Creators brought us here. Creators kept us here. It's allowed us to reunite. And we're here, you know. Life is interesting. It's got its ups and downs, but we're here. And the thing that you do, don't jump off the ship when you get rough. Trust me, things between my wife sometimes are rough. A lot of men, they just jump ship. Women jump ship. And then what you do, you start all over again. Stay on the ship, but the ship is rocky. And then eventually the ship is going to run into smooth waters. Then when you get to the smooth waters, you get, wow, I get to enjoy the smooth waters. Don't jump the ship. Okay? Stay the course. We here do, at LifeSpring, we're doing the holistic work. Deanna definitely comes in and does massage. We do colonics. I'm going to pick up doing iridology again. I plan to do the iridology course at some point. At some point I want to do handwriting analysis with the family and introduce us to the tours that I have to show you the energy centers in the New York Tri-State area that has us on lockdown. Every so often I go to Grand's tomb. It is the largest mausoleum in the United States. I go in the basement of that thing, and I go and I do an hour meditation on a regular basis. When you step out of that place, some very interesting things happen. So that's one location, and many other locations over the area, but the first location should be your home. So let the location of your home be that first emanation, that you lay that spiritual foundation that emanates out from you. When you leave your house, you set that up. And we have to do that in our homes. First and foremost, not in a job, not some building, not some structure away from you. The first temple is in your home. And we got to move that vibration. Alright? So, I'm Ramin, my wife Deanna, from LifeSpring. As we said, we do colonics, we do massage, we do the healing work here. And the space is open for any practitioner that needs space to do their work. It's open. Come through. Okay? Thank you.
Any words, Deanna, on trainings or anything? Oils? Not ready?
Not ready.
Okay.
Carry on.
Okay, well, anyway, I think this is the time that I want to give everybody a time to tell us a little bit about yourself, why you're here. Why would you even want to come to something like this? How does this fit into your life? What can we do for you? What kind of struggles are you having as a business or practitioner? And how can we help? So who want to start? You want me to start?
Yeah.
Where's my list of stuff at? Wait a minute. I did make a list of challenges that I'm having. Well, one of my first wellness teachers was Queen of Four in Brooklyn. It was actually back to Eden, but after that was Queen of Four. And then these two. Tamara, man, they taught me colon therapy and massage.
Well, you go back about 30 years.
Yeah, long time we was all young and everything.
We're not now?
We climbing the mountain. We all climbing the mountain. And so I always like to give homage to Life Spring, because a lot of the times when men will call me, I say Life Springs are queens, because whatever they did here, they taught me, and I just replicated it in Queens. No shame in my game, I just tell my formula. And if you see a practitioner that's doing something that works, do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what the chapter is about, helping you not to recreate the wheel,
Exactly.
you know?
And if you can launch from your homes, launch
the
your
best.
business from your home.
Yeah.
It's what we've done ancestrally for thousands of years. Once you've launched your business from your home, you've got a working model, then it will grow itself out into whatever space you need from there. You know, and it saves you major overhead when you can work the space out of your home, even if it's just out of a small portion out of the home. Start out of your home.
One of my challenges that I'm having, hopefully y'all can help me with it. We need really good chapter volunteers. I don't know why that's so hard. We give them free food, t-shirts, services. Maybe they can come get a raindrop massage for free. And other than my niece, when we had Nikki, oh my gosh, she was the best. She knew all of you. She knew which booth to send you to. No, you gotta go over here. You gotta go get your CKLS. She was great,
Yeah, sure.
but we're not really finding volunteers that even care that much. And I think we worked Khadija to the bone last time. You know, because she was trying to manage my booth, and she was trying to manage the other volunteers, and then she's running. It was a bit much. So if you guys have any ideas how we can get some, because we tried the money thing, but I'm finding like that's not really it, and I'm not sure what the thing is to make a volunteer want to be a volunteer. Because I'm going to, in the presentation, I'm going to go through some of the benefits of being a volunteer, all the perks that they get, in addition to getting tips from the practitioners. Yes, no.
I have a question.
So,
Is the volunteers reached out only during the street festival or for all the different
I
events?
need them year round. You see how I messed up y'all badges? Some of y'all got like 3 badges with your name on it. Because it's, you know, I need somebody to look over my stuff.
So what are some of the things that volunteers do?
We're going to get to that in the presentation. It's a whole laundry list of stuff. And you could just find out where you want to fit in. Like you could at sales, maybe you know modalities, maybe you want to expand the modalities, but we're going to get to that.
And also there's a flyer that we can like post, like I would send out to different organizations like your organization, like the different organizations that are around, because then they can announce it within the organizations. And because the volunteers know the people in their organization, it's like a liaison versus, I don't know.
We need an ongoing one. Like when I have to do you saw the holiday mailing that I did, that's like, shh. Poor Brother G's like, are you going to come watch Marvel with me? I'm like, no. I got to get this stuff because it was just me. To be able to have a volunteer, I could just call and gray hair, you see that? Another thing that I'm really working to get is to get us some more corporate events. Because we got the insurance in place, so that's not a barrier to entry. So now it's just, maybe that's the corporate guy right there. You know, so if you know of any people that you know have events where they're looking to staff it with holistic practitioners, call us. Call any of us. Don't just have to be me. I don't staff everything. Sometimes it comes to Deanna and she says, I got this gig, Shay, can you come?
Right.
I'm going to get to that. I'm getting ahead of myself. But in other words, that's one of my challenges that I'm having too. I would love to have someone come and talk. Oh, I'm down to a minute. We started an hour late though.
No, actually, 40-something minutes.
40 minutes late, so that's 41 more minutes.
Make it 20 in.
We'll give you a reprieve.
Okay, finish my taxes. I'm working on my credits. I would love someone to come in and talk about creating a business plan. Because sometimes they feel like you need a business plan just because you're trying to get money from the man. And it's good because when you do a business plan, you get to look at what your competition is doing. It helps you develop your pricing, make sure you're doing it to scale, like with the latest thing, especially with all the millennials, that things change every minute. Like, we think this email is something else, now it's apps and this Snapchat. It's like I can't even be in all these places at once.
Yeah.
Hence, volunteers. I need a millennial volunteer, but millennials have like attention span of this. So that's like the other side of them. They don't stick to
Nothing.
nothing.
Yep.
Yeah, they're always moving to the next thing.
You know. So that's one of my things I need. Definitely for the Street Fest, I need a volunteer that's going to particularly just do our booth. And I think all you guys need a dedicated volunteer to do your booth, and someone who handles product, inventory, and the generator, so we don't have to take him from and do an inversion treatment because the generator goes off. So we would love a volunteer to do that so that we can stay focused and bringing that money. Okay, so that's my spiel. So you want to start with you? Want to start with you, mommy? You don't need nothing?
No,
You don't need nothing?
well, I needs.
Yes. Don't be shy. We want to help.
Well, I've been back in my home now for almost 3 years. I lived with my mother for 12 years, taking care of her, so I'm back and I'm doing my work now. I just need some loving energy, basically.
Well, you asked and you shall receive.
All right now.
Can you just close your eyes and everybody right hand forward from your heart? Make sure your intention's clear. Call your name.
Like Trella.
Muchachella. Just send her the love that she's asking for. And send it to her in an abundant way that her cup overfloweth with love. See a beautiful green emanation coming from her heart in the shape of a sphere. And see the sphere getting larger, encompassing her entire body, growing out of her body, growing as big as this home, bigger than this home, the block, bigger than the block, the borough, bigger than the borough, the state, bigger than the state, the county, bigger than the United States, bigger than the earth, going into celestial cycles as big as the universe, as big as the galaxy. Ashel.
So, Mom, can we ask about all the wonderful training and stuff going on up in the mountains? And if that's something that you need help with too,
What did you say?
with the Kepler Head Healing and Learning Temple.
Ooh.
Did you see her badge? Don't you want to know more?
Where are you? Where are you?
Slopesburg, New York, about an hour north of Harlem.
Really? You got mountains and you got grass?
Uh-oh.
You got what? 4 acres. I hear retreat. And see, the interesting thing in the research, I'm in the process of researching and writing a book called The Geomancy of New York City. New York, not the city, but New York. And basically, a lot of these areas in the New York area, a glacier passed through here about 25,000 years ago. So it's very rich as far as the mineral world. And a lot of these places in the upper states and the upper parts of New York State are high with minerals where our ancestors, the Algonquin, what they call Indians, live. So from what you just said, vibrationally, those are the spaces we need to connect to when we can. So the idea of actually coming up to you and doing a retreat,
Right now.
okay?
That works, yeah.
White folks pay big money to do stuff like that. And that's something, no, I'm just saying that that's something that we as a people, we don't do.
Well, it's all a part of my plan, and well, not my plan, the Temple's plan, and it's been a part of the Temple's plan since I've been here 20 years. But life, you know,
Understand.
moves. And now that I'm here, and there's this circle of segment sisters who work with me, they're healers, and Sister Takia and Sister Nakara are part of it, part of the group. We meet bi-monthly up there, and we're doing some work. And we have a lot of indoor shrines, a lot of outdoor shrines, and just lots
You will
of...
love it.
Yeah, Sister Stephanie Nero, she had a center and a shrine in Freehold, New York. She left us it's been about 4 or 5 years she's left us now. Yeah, and that work was in alignment with what she was doing in having a space like that. It was very, very special because it was a sacred place. It allows us to reconnect in ways that we don't. And to have a space like that is extremely healing. Extremely healing. So
So you'll be up there tomorrow.
don't worry. No, you tell me a place.
So I'm trying to let the mothers go first. Mama Aya,
Okay.
tell us about you, what you do, what
Well,
you need.
Hetep
It's a full
blessings and peace.
blessings. Peace.
Assalamu alaikum.
Yes.
What's happening?
Yes.
Hi,
Everything. It's all us. It's all us.
So I've been walking up down 221st Street, so I got a chance to get my bearings. And I thank you for your comment about finding your place, and so I got a chance to feel the energy walking up and down. So I feel very comfortable here. I'm very thankful. I am Handy Kendi. I don't know how much you want us to say.
No, just
Let her out.
briefly.
Brief introduction?
You're not your whole thing yet.
Yeah, okay, all right. See, I have to ask people. So I'm blessed to do a lot, and one of the things I'm blessed to be the founder of Black Love Day, so I definitely send my heart to the sisters. I've lost a mother too, and I've lost a lot of family members, so I understand. I'm a breathologist. I'm a certified breathologist. What I need is what's happening already. I sincerely appreciate that you take my little design flyers and you recreate them and you blow them up and you give depth to what I'm just doing, which is, sort of like the bare basis of graphics. But I appreciate that you're promoting me here in New York. We certified 13 breathologists in New York now about 6 years ago. And so I am definitely looking for another space to come back and certify more breathologists. I know New York needs people to have the awareness of that minute-to-minute yoga that you need to go into those 5-10-minute spaces. But you don't have to suit up, you don't have to go anywhere. All you have to do is go into your home. And so that's what I'm looking for. I need a space to certify people. And I would love to have a space to take people to the deeper dive, which is transcendence breath work, which is a 45-minute session that's equal to 2.5 years of talk therapy. So it's real intense. But that requires a very quiet space. Years ago, I had a space in D.C. I'm from D.C. And the gentleman asked me, what do you people do up there? Do people scream and yell and kick and cry? And I said, they're releasing. And so I'm looking for that special place in New York where people can do extremely powerful release work.
This is just 2 elders speaking so far.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting that we Neferkar and I went was it last weekend to psychodrama
Yes.
training,
Yes.
and
It was this technical spiral. It was
Yeah,
more
yeah.
structured type of
Yes.
psychodrama,
yeah. So it's interesting that you speak about the breath work. That's the deep healing that we need as people.
Yes, right now.
We need that so deeply.
Really.
And interesting. You've got the Melanin Challenge ones. They've been steeped in this stuff, been using it for a long time, and they do it and heal themselves, and they send it to the churches.
Anybody else? Where's the other elder? Want to go this way or want to keep going that way?
That way.
Right now.
All right. I am Sister Neferkara. Last time we were here, it came to my attention that I assumed everybody knew what I did and realized everybody has ideas because I do a lot of different things. My primary training is I'm a licensed clinical social worker for 40 years. My passion is in advocating for children. I'll go into that more when I do my little presentation. But in terms of what I need, which doing this today is helpful on, is in doing so many things over the past 40 years, is help in focusing on how to pull it together to move forward. Because when you wear so many hats, when I see people, it all comes together. But in trying to help others to understand, because, people used to psychotherapy, people used to holistic, but the blending of the two, which is very unique to what I do. Because I've had people that, do holistic say, well, when all this emotion comes up, what do you do with it? And I forget not everybody's a therapist, because I'm like, well, and you can't just pack it up and say, go see your therapist, because they don't know what to do with it. As a psychotherapist, my passion has always been advocating and educating. And I've realized that at this stage of my life, it's not so much of seeing people individually or, on a regular, as much as doing presentations, heightening our awareness. Shai and I were talking earlier, we have lost not just Meduti, but a lot of brothers and sisters during this time. And that a lot of it is that particularly brothers go into their man caves. And then they wither away because everybody's isolated. And part of, in this chapter, of getting feedback from brothers over what type of support, can we provide to help heal forward, because we can't afford to keep losing.
No.
We can't afford losing any of us. As you said, people have been falling apart, having heart attacks as the primary. When I talk to people, I eat healthy, then I ask them what do they eat. It ain't so healthy. Oh, I do, but when you get specific. So I think for me, it's just support in getting focused, but also, as you said, having venues to speak. I'm very good, as you can tell, to talk. But having the venues to be in front of people is not my forte. You tell me, Neferkara, be at such and such a place and such a time to talk, I'm good. But if I've got to orchestrate all that, you ain't seeing it. So it's help in doing that as I kind of restructure myself.
Okay.
That help?
Is she clear? Because y'all can answer questions if you're not.
Yeah, don't be shy.
I just consider what I'm doing.
This is your time, Mama. You're kind of an elder in the elder's role, so you talk to her.
I would like to say I'm honored to finally meet you. I've been following your name and your work for years.
Wow.
And your breath work and trying to get down to DC and unbelievable. I said, that name looks familiar. Is that really her? And so I feel blessed. My name is Zakia. Zakia. I follow your emails and all your work.
Yeah.
Can I get down there? And it's like, so thank you.
Super clever.
Did you move up
You
here?
come up there.
No, I just got off the bus. I drank a bus and tracked down the street.
Thank you for coming.
I made it to my back and it took my 9 minutes, but it was really 2. I said, no, I'm walking this thing.
Fantastic. Well, thank you doubly now for making the trip to come join us today.
Yes,
Because we think it's hard coming from the Bronx for 10 blocks, Co-op City, and
Well, I mean, If you wanna, you need a space in New York to start your certification, do the certification. Lifespring is open. It's been open. I mean, Dr. Africa was here when he did his certification for us, and we've had another couple of people have come through. The reason for us buying this home was Deanna was doing massage and going to other people and doing a split. I was like, no, we're gonna find a space that's got a big enough basement, right? There we can work out of our home, and the space can be open for whoever needs to do their work. We ask for little or nothing to use the space, because I'm encouraging people to come use the space to do the work that they need done.
So I'm the first on your list.
Hey.
The second guy.
I'll be the second one. Right?
Beautiful. Beautiful.
How's the book coming?
The book is. So here's the difficulty with the book. My name is Zaki. I think I know everybody here. The difficulty with the book has been, one, I thought because I teach so much and I know so much, it would be easy to write. No, it don't go that way. After I figured out the structure, I didn't want to write a book because I think we, as Africans, when we write from the white perspective as a default.
What does that mean?
I'm getting ready to go. As a default, it's as if our knowledge has to either prove theirs wrong or be in concert with theirs or be, no, it ain't like that. And I didn't want to write like that. And I had difficulty trying to figure out how to do it. And I'm the type of person, I know the universe will give me an answer. Just sit down and shut your mouth and just listen. That's one of the reasons why it's taken so long. I met with Latrell and a girlfriend a few months ago on something totally different. But being in the African spirit and the spiritual energy, I figured out how to do that. I also wanted to write the book from an African mindset without sounding like I'm challenging white medicine. I didn't want to do that because ours is original. And I couldn't figure out how to do that. Particularly because I studied Chinese medicine, Ayurveda, and I tried to figure out a way to blend them. And I couldn't, so I just sat still.
Can I just, let me just say this. It all came from our roots.
Absolutely.
So basically what we're doing now, we're just going around the planet, picking up the kernels and bringing it back home. That's all we're doing.
Right,
you know? So, and if you look at it like that you're speaking from a person that's speaking from the root, not from a spoke on the branches of the root.
Absolutely.
It'll just,
and so that's been the difficulty. I didn't want to write it like that. So a few months ago, I was sitting down, and it came to me, and you know what you taught us in Sacred Woman and the Madhu Netch and everything you've given us, and I couldn't figure out how to do it that way, and it came to me when we met. It literally came to me. When you and I and Carol met, 2 days later it came, the whole structure shifted, and I was able to understand how to incorporate the Netcher and the August Day rule, the Mesohead rule, and how to do it. Yes, it was unbelievable. Yes. And I did it from an astrological point, using the 12 houses.
I'm saying that.
And the herbs, and I know. So that's what I've been trying to figure out how to manipulate. And so that's why it's taken so long. And I also wanted to give scientific validation. I know.
But Zakia, what you just outlining is what we were doing in the mystery schools.
Yes.
That's what you're doing.
Yeah.
And what you were doing, you're just clearing your head of all that Eurocentric nonsense.
Yes.
Here's the thing, keep this in mind. There is one mind. It's an African mind. There's no other mind on the planet. All people on the planet are black. You have those that lost their melanin challenge, but it's one mind. So all the human beings on the planet, we're talking about this philosophy and that philosophy, the root it comes from is a black mind. That's all there is.
Right.
And once you look at that, then what you present what you present is going to be presented from a place where you're speaking from that root.
Right.
And the key, see, this thing here is the key. No matter how they dance around, no matter how our melanin challenge brothers and sisters, I call them the African albino lake challenge. This is the key that unlocks. And when you go in and you quiet yourself, the keys open up that they can never access.
Right, you have to be, and that's why I've been still for a year or 2 or 3 because I knew it would come to me and I couldn't rush it, and I refused to rush it. You said once it comes, it's coming when it's coming.
That's me bugging you.
And yeah, you do, but that's okay. And then since in the last 3 or 4 years since I've doing energy work with Reiki and pranic healing, that also shifted me because now the name of the book is The Energetics of How Herbs Heal.
Ooh,
And
I
so-
love that title.
Hopefully in the next couple of months I can pin it down and it'll be out anyway. So that's
love
the
the
story of
sound
the
of
book.
that,
That's the
dog.
story of the book. So what I have continued to do with this energy work has allowed me to do with pranic healing, and I've also taken up not just aromatherapy but essential oil specialist. And I've created some formulas that I use on the meridians to facilitate healing. Unbelievable.
I'm liking that.
Unbelievable.
Remember that what you're doing, you're bringing back home
Yeah.
a body of knowledge. Here's how this worked. It was a body of knowledge that emanated. Let me go back a little further. I was looking at something the other day, and this guy from the East was talking about how the Vedic scriptures are the oldest written spiritual books on planet. But then I'm sitting and I'm marinating on this. I said, wait a minute. It's from an oral history. Where did oral history come from? Black people. So it's only when it was committed to writing that the Africans that now call themselves Indians say that it's oldest writing. But what you have to remember, before what they're documented and codified was the oral history that
Right.
we've had so far back in time you can't even remember.
Right.
So once you look at it like that, all that stuff, you're just picking up pieces and you're bringing back to the
Right.
wholeness of where it is. And where we're now in a place and time is that implosive energy, the feminine now, is now reasserting herself on the planet.
Right.
So we're seeing where we're taking things from a holistic point and bringing it back to the root. Normally we're done with this. This is like,
Right.
This is the end of it.
okay, that's the end of that.
And so the energy work has allowed me to take it deeper than I have ever thought, I have ever practiced, I have ever even imagined I could do. Even though I had knowledge of the meridians and the elements, now that I've been studying essential oil specialists, I've actually created formulas for all of the meridians and all of the organs that I didn't do as an herbalist, but I'm doing now as an essential oil specialist. It's like, I'm
You got layers
Now
and
here's-
layers and layers.
Here's Zakia, here's how deep it's going.
Stuff.
Here's how deep it's going. Exactly what you're talking about. We're talking about these energy centers. They're these gates in what you call them the tree of life, just using as an example. And what you're actually doing is tapping into spirit. Pure and
Yes.
simple.
yes, I know.
You're
Yeah.
dealing with spirit
Yeah.
on the highest level, so no coincidence. You're just bringing it back, bringing it back home.
And now the work with Moot Latrella, what she had made reference to, her space is phenomenal up in Sloper, and there's shrines everywhere. and when you go up there, you shift. And it's not a conscious thing. It just happens because you're there. And much of what I said has been ignited by being there now on a regular basis. And so, again, I don't know what to do with myself. But anyway, I'm trying to keep myself grounded.
Mm.
That's the place to
focused.
be.
Absolutely.
But the
absolutely.
grounding that you're doing, I mean, I'm in the process, I mentioned before, researching a book called by Geomancer New York City.
Wait, you could be
No, it's real quick. So what happens literally, you have these places, these structures that are placed specifically to lock the energy down. Once you leave out of the New York area, of certain specific geographic locations, you're out of that energy grid lockdown. So when you move into those open spaces, you now have energy that flows through its own natural flow, and that's why you have that energy shift. It's not by accident.
Right. So that's it. I'll stop.
Mama Francine.
Okay. My name is Francine Reva. I like Reva better. And I'm basically an organizer. I'm not a practitioner or anything, but I believe in everything you're doing. and I'd like to get you all together in one single space, and that's what I've been doing for the last, what is this? I think this is the 17th year. I think.
Wow.
Oh, I did. Oh, let's do this over again. But anyhow, we have the date of April 11th that we're giving our holistic health and wellness fair, and some of you probably noticed the spelling of holistic, but I went to a holistic fair, and this is the way the guy spelled it, and it was,
Ooh, nice day, 12
Yeah.
to 5. Woohoo. I like that.
it was so meaningful to me, you know, considering the whole person that's with me. And so I started spelling it that way. Everybody tries to correct me, but that's how I spell it.
That's how I feel.
I'm sorry, you're spelling it both ways.
So I would like all of you to come and be either presenters or vendors, and there's some small flyers on the table, and this is what I do.
Is there a vendor fee?
It depends. Last year I was working with the Black Veg Fest.
Yeah, that's where I met you at.
That's right.
Yeah.
Large, right? Yeah. And they wanted to charge. They wanted to charge people, so there was a charge. But generally, we don't charge anything. So I have to see if I'm going to work with them again or not. So.
And we worked together for 20 years.
Oh, wow.
20
Really?
years ago.
At the law
You're-
firm.
We worked together at the law firm for like 10, 15 years.
Oh.
To be a
Isn't it cute?
presenter, what do you have to do to be a presenter?
Just let me know.
She'll give you time, friend, and talk, and you'll be there.
That's all it is.
So you have to switch cards or whatever y'all need to do. This is the
Right in
time
your
to switch your
backyard.
room.
Yeah, literally.
Bob, you
And
want to
there's no
say
fee for
anything?
that.
What you need from us?
The videographer.
Yes.
I have to come up. Say a few words about our economic condition. You know, our economic condition is very sad now. Our young men and young girls are going to jail left and right because we have no economic structure. Now, I belong to the group, I'm sure you all heard the name, Marcus Garvey. He passed these out. We have created a warehouse in Queens, and so we're trying to get out of this, how the race get out of this economic situation. We do not create jobs for ourselves. You notice everywhere you go now, you see other people in these jobs, and our young people are not getting the fair share because we have not created these things for them. Marcus Garvey tried, and he did in the 1920s. He rocked this world. He rocked the world. And we are in the process of reviving the organization. We take trips to Africa. In fact, a contingent just left yesterday, and they're going to Africa. They go to Ghana and they go to Liberia. We intend to set up a business in Liberia, or businesses in Liberia, because the people over there really have nothing. They have nothing. When they see us come, they literally throw up their hands, and they're so glad to see us, and we give them all a couple of dollars, and they're happy with that. So what I'm saying is we are sponsoring a raffle, a Shop at the Rock raffle. It's $5 a chance, or $25 for a book. And I'd like you all to participate, even if you don't buy the raffle. Take a chance and come out, or take a trip one day and just come out to the Rock and see what we've built. It's a whole wholesale and retail. We sell to all the different restaurants that.
So where is this?
It's in Queens. You gotta look at the card. The card has the information on it.
No more cards, Barbara? That's just one card you got?
No, I gave out a few.
We all have. We all have.
They all have.
No, we all done.
But this is the only way we're going to ever come out of this situation, is to start businesses for ourselves. I also like to say that the work that we're doing here is wonderful. This spiritual work, you can't beat it. But as we noticed that our elders, when our elders get old, they have to go into them same people they were railing against to take care of them. Now we you know, you have a good shot here to create a health place, a health clinic, and a health rest home for these elders when they get to the age where they can't take care of themselves anymore. Because this is the way we keep the stuff inside of us. You know, it's about us right now, because we're going to the bottom.
It is.
And the only way we're going to come out of the bottom is to lift ourselves up. And so what you all are establishing here is good, but you need to formalize it and set it up. We can do a structure. Maybe you can open up a home at some point, because you're doing natural health. So we can open up a home for all these different elders. But I'm an elder now myself, you know, but I'm holding on.
Yes, you are.
I ain't got the cane, and I got some aches and pains, but I'm here, you know. So that's my little spiel for the day. So as I said, I'm selling raffle tickets. If you want to take a chance, take a chance. If you don't want to take the chance, at some point take a trip out and just see the building that we have out there in Queens. So I give thanks and praise for all that in attendance. You know, these are my spiritual family. I grew up with some of them. You know, and I want to commend my sister here. I'm looking at her, I see her brightness. That gloom is gone from her. And I said, wow, just watching the glow in her now. She's glowing because she has, that other spirit that left you is still in you.
Yes, for sure.
And it's glowing with you, my sister. So you give thanks and praise for you. You keep up the work that you're doing. All of you. All the work is wonderful. Zakia here, well, you know,
Yeah, he used to take some of my classes. That I had at Black Gold.
Black Gold.
He used to take some of my classes.
so that's my little spiel. I'm over here in the corner. If you want to get a chance, take a chance.
Father, is this the 100-year anniversary of the red, black, and green flag, or the 50th
It's the
year
100th year of
anniversary
the convention.
of the convention?
And we're holding a big parade in August 17th. It start around 5 o'clock.
Everybody's going to be flags.
Yeah. And this is the 100th year. Everything is the 100th year. But the 100th year of the anniversary, the 100th year of the organization was 1914. We did a big celebration then. But this is the 100th year of the convention, of all the different groups coming together to meet. So if you can come, we start at 124th Street, Marcus Garvey Park, you know, former Mount Morris Park, 124th Street. Start at 5 o'clock. So you can come then, appreciate it.
What date is that?
August
August 17th. Now, I'm usually a low key. I'm usually low key. Anything I do when I talk, I'm always giving prayers. Today I'm being an entrepreneur. So I give thanks and praise for all, and on with the show.
That's it.
Thanks and praise, Mama.
Thank you. Good night. Again?
Yes. So I've been in the furniture industry for say 25 years. And in my time there, I've noticed that people who actually enter the building of furniture, they start out with their homes. So what I actually decided to do was I eliminated, and what I'm going to do is to find ways to help people on that road to ownership.
Come on up, brother. So come on up. It's good to see you.
Homeownership. What I've been doing recently is working with different organizations. One of them is the Legal Aid Society, to help find different pathways for people to make that move to homeownership.
Very good.
It's one of the things that helped me out a lot in my life. I had a house in Harlem, which kept us going for a while. I used that to purchase a house in Westchester, straight out, no mortgage. I've helped my sisters find their homes, and it's actually going to help my older sister now because her husband just transitioned this weekend. So that's going to help her and her children financially as well. So I've been going to different organizations, this being one of them, looking for different ideas of ways that we can actually help people along those paths. So if anybody has any ideas, if you want to reach out to me, we do that. I'll give my business card around so you can get
Is your card in the package you gave us?
No, it's not. I have a few of them with me.
Hopefully you got enough.
You?
I have a few.
I'm just
That's enough.
Yes.
Pass them out now,
Sure.
because you will forget later.
You got your shoes on? Oh my God.
You didn't tell me to take them off when I came in.
It's all right.
Take your shoes off.
Yeah, don't worry. He's good. He can. He says he can take them.
So that's my spiel.
Excellent.
We help people with buying, selling. If you know anybody who's looking to rent,
Okay.
my office is on 116th Street
Okay.
in Harlem. So I'm always available.
Excellent. Excellent. One of the things I would say that Brother Barry was saying to start for home ownership is to get your credit right. Okay? That's the entryway to talking about owning. You got to get your credit right, and it's not hard to do. And there are people that are experts in doing that, you know, but getting that right. And one of the things I wanted to say that Baba Shem was saying, talking about us not owning, one of the things that we must do is to make sure that we have insurance on ourselves and our children to start. And one of the things that I use, that I was thinking of a strategy, it's just going to be really quick. With each one of my kids, and I say it, I've got them insured for $1 million apiece in term. If we each were to insure our children with a minimum of $1 million, and every time they took one of their lives, the insurance company had to pay out, it would bankrupt the insurance company. They would get a call from the governor. They said, wait a minute, y'all got to stop that. It's going to bankrupt us. Or literally what would have happened, they would change the laws. All right? So one of the things that you're talking about, financial empowerment, is to make sure that we insure our children. And it's not very expensive to do. Okay? And then credit. Get credit right.
Sister Ember Murray?
Greetings, Hetzful.
Greetings.
I am Ember Murray. I am a culinary therapist. I've been in practice for a number of years, and I am really having a wonderful, spazzy moment because I'm seeing your face and been stalking you for years. As well as you.
Daughters in here today.
I called you last year, like, are you still doing the Bible steaming? And you're like, no, I moved on. I'm like,
Yes.
but I'm so glad to be in your presence. Little child, you know I love you. So I'm so glad to be in his presence. It's been a while since, I have to say, that I've been around my melanated people, and I am really emotional right now. Because I feel this good energy that I've been missing for the last number of years. I needed this.
You got it.
Like I told Shahid, I called her. I reached out to her via Messenger because I was literally on the floor like, I need help.
Wow.
I need help. I've dug myself into some foolishness. I need a way out. I need to see some light. And she reached out to me, boom, 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 da-da-da-da-da-da. I'm like, oh, okay, now I can sit up. I can focus. And then from that, things have been opening up for me. Good. Luke knows a little bit about my story, but I am so grateful to know that you're back and doing your practice because I'll be coming to you. And for some healing work. I'll be reaching out to you for the essential oil. I'm not going to let another class go by without you seeing my face. And my dear breathologist will be speaking as well. And I'm still in practice, though making a shift, a major shift. So, know that I'm still doing colonics. And it's good to know that you have made an announcement that this space is open as well. I have a lot of clients up here that don't want to go all the way to Soho,
Excellent.
or Chelsea.
Excellent.
Yeah, I am shifting back from Soho to Chelsea, and possibly I'll be contacting you both to see
You got it.
if I can bring some of my practice up here as well. But I give thanks, Shadi, for the chapter, for still being here after all these years, and
Sekou, our credit repair guy.
Ooh, he's the man.
Credit repair.
Mm-hmm. Come on up there.
Sekou Bey, I do fixed credit. So if you interested, if your credit is bad, I show you how to repair your credit. And if you're buying a house, I teach you the things you need to do to fix your score, to get your score up. And then also I do as well as financial stuff. I do that also. So if you need anything, just let me know.
Is your card in the package?
Unfortunately, I don't have a card. I forgot to bring it.
You gotta gather information.
Give us your phone number.
All right.
347-666-1822.
When
There you go.
Financial stuff, what type of financial stuff do you do?
Oh, okay. I teach you as far as credit. How the whole system is missing credit and how there is no money. It's all a game. It's all credit. And
22, thank you.
stress about it. You just have to learn it's for the game.
So you teach us how to play
How to
the
play the
game?
game, that's right.
Like you said, as far as the insurance aspect, we all have insurance. It's gonna help us.
Yes, very important.
You're saying that if you get a kid up getting shot, they would stop it.
Let's stop it.
Stop killing us.
Let's stop
It'd
killing
be too expensive to show.
Exactly.
It'd be worth something all of a sudden.
So Miss Deanna?
I don't know.
Okay. So when you're going to do the stone massage training, because Walter wants to take that, you don't have time, don't you? Really? Okay. Okay. Anyway, one of our guest speakers, we started 40 minutes late, just so you know. So we're kind of running a little bit behind. Okay? Okay, so I think we got everybody's issues out, so I just want to get back to the chapter business real quick, and then we'll get to Neferkara, and then we'll keep going. Anyone want to take a break to the bathroom or get something to eat?
I'll let you go first.
If it's a crunch, there's one upstairs now.
We did the prayer, everybody introduced themselves, so now we can get
Yamo.
$50 late
They
fee.
get a chance
So I just said hi.
to say,
Okay. So you all know what the chapter's about, so now we're going to get into maybe convincing you to know more about our mission. Does anybody feel like reading this stuff? Nice, strong person that can kind of read so people get an idea of what we do. You're good at
okay,
that.
our mission is dedicated to improving holistic principles and providing a sacred support system for continuing education for students and graduates. We promote holistic lifestyle modalities that honor the whole person, mind, body, and spirit, and encourage people to actively participate in their own health, wellness, and health care of their communities. To bring the consciousness of natural health education back to communities of color so that people can be wellness
empowered.
Yeah, wellness empowered through awareness and understanding instead of victimized by misinformation. Absolutely true.
Don't need to explain that, right? Okay. We're not done yet.
Oh, sorry.
Our history, so you know how we became.
Inspired by the book African Holistic Health by Dr. Leola Africa and his 6-week holistic health practitioner training course, the idea of the African Holistic Health chapter of New York was conceived in 2004 by Yvonne Sita Shai area and invited by Dr. Africa and other noble holistic health instructors.
You jumped on.
Which line? Area invited?
Third line.
Third line. Hawkins. Shai recognized the need for making self-empowering health resources available in the New York area and invited Dr. Africa and other noble holistic health instructors to come and share their knowledge. There is also a need to assist graduates of Dr. Africa's course and students of other teachers who were not practicing what they learned due to the lack of confidence and support. More planning and work started, bringing the idea into reality. Then, at the prompting and guidance of Dr. Africa, the African Holistic Chapter of New York was born in 2007. Since then, the AHHCNY has brought in powerful holistic teachers from around the country, like Texas-based holistic health educator Dr. Akul Gray, Philadelphia-based reflexology El Hagan, California-based iridologist Dr. Paul Goss, Chicago-based kinetic yoga expert Yisr Ra-Hatep, and others. Our mandate has since expanded to include public outreach designed to expose the public to various holistic healing modalities and provide our members with increased business opportunities. Since 2010, the chapter and its members have been been the featured holistic wing of the annual International African Arts Festival in Brooklyn, New York. The chapter makes resources and memberships available, along with bi-monthly newsletter with over 4,000 subscribers. Follow us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Pinterest.
Any questions? Cool? So the chapter, we started, it's just a bunch of students who graduated Dr. Africa's class that didn't know what to do next. So how do we make money? So then we got a hold of Dr. Africa, and he told us how to set it up to get people from being students to being practitioners to being wellness center owners to making house calls. So that's kind of like how the chapter has organically kind of grown. So basically, the main purpose of the chapter now, as of today, is to put money in your pocket. We used to just be, okay, let's bring some money in and pay them to teach us. We're out of that business right now. So if you want to teach iridology, we send them to you, they pay you, and that's it. Then you send them to us so we can get them in the field working. That's so they can be a paid practitioner. So that's kind of like where we're at now. That makes sense? That sound good to you all?
Yep.
So, once you're ready to be a practitioner, set your stuff up, you go with us to do these festivals, you decide you want to jump in, maybe you want to start as a volunteer because your confidence may not be there yet. You can start as a volunteer. And you get wore out, and then we'll really know if you really want to be a practitioner. Because it's a great way. It's like Zakia, Khadija, she got burned out. But that's really the life of a practitioner. Everything comes at you at once. The phone is ringing. The client you sold me the wrong vitamin D. It's always a bunch of stuff going on. And then a lot of times at the festival, people love us so much they start fighting over the chairs. I was here first. I was here. No, you left. So now the volunteers to manage the chair traffic, to keep the order. Like, no, your appointment is in 20 more minutes, man. So that's why we need the volunteers to kind of keep the order. So basically, we're trying to get y'all paid. That's what the chapter's about now. Not about teaching classes anymore. We send them to Zakia. We send them to the instructors now. We're going to get to that. Hi, our chapter instructors.
Look at everybody.
Anybody need any introductions here? Everybody know who everybody is? Because if not, I'm missing 2 bios. I'm missing Deanna's bio. That's our beloved Deanna. And Zakia, I'm missing your bio. But for those who don't, we know Dr. Africa's the first one. He taught pretty much, created the chapter in his honor. He got us up into the health and wellness, and of course Queen of Four, but that's a whole other story in terms of that membership. Then we got Dr. El Hagan, right here. He's teaches reflexology, so if you want to know reflexology, that's the man. He's the master teacher in that. Dr. Paul Goss is the second one. He's the master teacher in iridology, which is the science of reading the eyes to assess what's going on, the internal affairs of your body. And then we got another master teacher who should be here. She does the astrology. She wants to connect with you.
Yeah, we got to do that connection.
She's going to do astrology
We gotta
and
do that
iridology and metaphysics in his course. So,
That's Singletary.
Singletary, yeah.
Singletary.
That's Deborah Singletary. I didn't say her name. I just pointed her.
You're right.
Who here? And just a show of hand. Who here? Who has an astrology chart done?
I have one.
Who,
That's not.
who has?
I have one.
Okay, very good. Who has not? Okay, you all need to get them done.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
important and very important. I'll explain later.
Okay, so this is Nishir Rahatep out of Chicago. Those interested who are doing Kemetic yoga, because yoga came from us.
Yes, it did.
Ancient Kemet.
Yes, it did.
So he takes it all the way back past India and
Thank
everybody
you.
else. And he's in one of the pose of, I forgot what that particular pose is. Debbie would know. She's trained by him. But that's a really hard pose to get into and hold and meditate in. But look how limber he is. And of course, Baba Ramin over there, Dr. Ramin,
You know that guy.
he does, of course, he's trained by pretty much everybody, but definitely this guy and this guy.
Yeah, my focus with the family is to take us to these sacred sites in this area where you can reconnect. The part that Shai was saying about the burnout is the fact that we don't spend time reconnecting, getting refilled energetically, and that's why we burn out. So I take you to those places where you get recharged.
So I'm going to pass the bios around so you guys can have a look at some of the bios.
And aren't you doing an iridology class also?
Yes.
Yeah, he's going to incorporate the
Yes.
sister, Deborah Singletary as part of that. So it's going to be astrology, iridology, and metaphysics. Whew. Off the chain.
Nice.
Okay, and Zakia, of course, she's our master herbology / pranic healing layered with all kinds of other essential oils. How are you? Good, good. So if you want to learn from her, there she is. You can switch her number. Dr. Akua, she was trained by Dr. Africa.
I'm here with
Okay. So she teaches naturopath training. She does the doula training. She does Yoni steam. She does a lot of the Reiki 1 and 2. I don't think she does pranic though. But she does the naturopath training. But she does a lot of her stuff online. So I've been sending a lot of people to her because since Dr. Africa is not in the physical a lot of times, a lot of people love to learn online because they don't have time to go to a class and stuff. So she's a great alternative if you can't get to Dr. Africa because she was taught by him, so it's pretty much the same with her own stuff layered on top of it. And of course we got Dr. Jeff Noble, pranic healing master. A lot of you have been trained by him.
And NLP.
And what can you? And that's neuro something.
Neuralistic programming.
And that is.
Neuralistic programming is right. Is that we store traumas and memories and stuff in different parts of our brain.
Okay.
Neuralistic programming helps you to shift out of traumas and stuff through various types of strategies, so that you shift where you store different traumas.
Okay.
To help mitigate it. Like for example, they'll have you visualize, like for example, when the duty task. One of the things that helped me is in visualizing that, and then minimizing the visualization in my head, and then having a positive, and shifting where the positive was in my brain in the visualization, and the negative, helped to minimize the impact of that by shifting where in my brain it was stored. So it guides you through different types of strategies and things on how to do that. Because I've been doing the training for that.
Wow. That's pretty deep.
It's very, I mean...
It's like picking the brain apart and like
It's-
opening
it's-
different pill boxes in your brain.
It's rewiring it.
Wow.
So how you store it, where you store it, how you manage it, and then in learning those different strategies, it helps you to not re-traumatize yourself. It helps you to overcome obstacles without having to talk about it for the next eons of years. So there's a lot of different techniques. You have like timelines, you have like the visualization, you have the way that you anchor it. So it's
Sounds like a long, like a 6-month class that comes?
yeah, it's about a 6-month class.
But it's really miraculous because I studied with her and Jeff, and in one of the classes, he took this sister and something she objected to in her life, and he took her literally and took her through this process, and before our eyes, within 15 minutes, her whole mentality shifted. Right there before us. He just guided her through 5 steps on how to shift the energy, what she's explaining, in your brain where it's lodged, and we literally saw her physically change. She was crying, she was letting go, and when he finished, her whole attitude had changed. From what she thought she couldn't accept and believe in to, oh yeah, I can do that.
He's going to be doing another NLP training starting in April.
Yeah, let us know, because like I said, the newsletter is about telling the world about what you guys are doing. Like I said, it's the Apollo Theater. We bring you out, and we want to send business to you. And the chapter is the Grammys, so this is where you come to hook up with, oh my God, Stevie Wonder's over there. I want to collaborate with Erykah Badu. So this is the place you come to get your collaborations going.
Jeff is also going to be doing the basic pranic healing, which
Okay.
has to do with clearing your chakras and the energies and everything.
I bought my crystal as well.
Oh, you're in the class too?
I'm actually one of the proteges.
Oh, wow. Okay, good. And our final person on the list is Mommy Ayo. So if you want to learn the breath work, like she was explaining earlier, you connect directly with her, pay her, get trained, and then we take you to the field so you can work on people. Or you could just set up your own practice as well.
So Brother Robin, I guess we have our classes coming up.
I guess so.
We'll be all here for to have our classes.
No,
here.
seriously. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what the space is for.
Yeah.
And, you know, as I said, it's like nominal to like nothing to nominal.